Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Todd Champion. This is Camping with Champion, and it is officially October, which means it's the beginning of the spooky season. I'm here at a Spirit Halloween, and to be honest, I was gonna try and camp on top of it. But once I got here, I realized there was no ladder on the outside, so that's not possible. But I drove an hour to get here, and I'm not just gonna turn around and go home. So I found a spot in the woods behind the store that I think should work out just fine. I've already got my gear back there because it was getting dark fast. So here's where Spirit Halloween is, Dollar Tree. And if you go around the corner, it's not just the back of the building. There's an actual store back there with the front entrance, and I'm gonna be camping kind of right beside that. Also, back there on that side of the store, they have signs up saying you cannot park there, because that's where I was originally gonna park at, and I could have just ran from the car to the woods with my bag on and everything. Would have been perfectly fine, but since I can't park back there, I went ahead and stashed my bags back there, and then I parked the car up front where there's no sign saying that I'm not allowed to park there. I think I'm gonna go ahead, set up my hammock, and then we'll go check out the Spirit Halloween. I saw a duck and like 3 or 4 cats up here earlier. I actually thought the cats were going to attack the duck, but they just kind of went over and laid down. There's the duck. Strange place to see a duck, but got a duck right here. Hey, buddy. And then we have an orange cat here. Hey, kitty, 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 kitty. Hey, kitty, 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 kitty. Hey, kitty, 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 kitty. He's very suspicious of me. All right, I'll leave you guys alone. So here's the other store I was talking about. You know, normally on these shopping centers, it's just the back side. You don't have an actual store on the side, but I was gonna park here, but there are these signs everywhere that says customer parking only. All others will be towed at the owner's expense. And I don't wanna be towed, so that's why I parked up front. Kind of a long walk to get back here, but that's fine. And there's this railing right here with a fence along the wood line. That's where we're gonna go. We're kind of right behind that fence. And there were people coming out of a door over here, but I haven't seen anyone in a few minutes. This store opens at 9 a.m. So as long as we're out of here by about 7:30ish, we should be good. Here we go. It is so dark back here already. My thinking is this fence right here, it has like this mesh covering over it. Hopefully that will hide our little spot back here. There's also, right across the woods is a walking trail, and it has street lights on it, so that could be a problem. I've never been here before, so I don't know how often that trail gets used or anything, so I'm just kind of winging it. I left my light that goes on top of my camera in the car. I'll have to go back and get it, but for now I just have my headlamp and I set it on the ground just to give me a little light from the ground. Now there are actual street lights on this trail back here, so I'm figuring if anyone from off in that parking lot or somewhere sees a little light shining through the fence, they're just gonna think it's those street lights. I think I'll be okay. At least that's how I'm justifying the use of my light right now. I'm gonna get this hammock up now. It is so hot out here still. It was still in the upper 80s, almost 90 degrees here today in October. That is insane. I didn't really see any, what was that? Poison ivy or anything out here, so that's good. Haven't used the hammock in a while. That was extremely hard to get around that tree. I hope that's not poison ivy on here, because I was just hugging the crap out of this tree. All right, y'all, we got the hammock set up, and it was real close to not being able to make it because these trees are too close together. And it's weird, all the trees back here in this area are almost exactly the same amount of feet apart, and it's just just barely enough for me to be able to get my hammock up and lay down on there without touching the ground. So it's not going to be the best sleep I've ever gotten in a hammock, but it'll work. I got to make my way back to the car to get my light that goes on top of my camera, but since I got to walk up there anyways, we'll go ahead and go inside Spirit Halloween and check that place out. I've only actually ever been in one time, I believe. Look at this stuff. I'm too scared to actually step on the pads because I don't want these things to jump out at me. They have this whole train set up here. What is this thing? Ooh. Oh my gosh, that actually made the floor vibrate when I did that. Oh wow. There's actually someone talking in here. I want to see if you can hear it. I think you can actually buy this big train here. I'm going to see if I can find out how much it costs. Check out this giant spider. Oh my God. That's actually the second time I stepped on it. The first time it scared the crap out of me.
Don't be afraid, little one. This is much more than you.
Okay, that was weird. So I couldn't find a price for the train. I'm thinking maybe that's just for looks. Look, they have a mask of my dad in here. This thing brings back a lot of memories from when I was a teenager. I am making my way back to camp. Spirit Halloween was pretty cool. I don't know how much footage I'm going to be able to show you of the store though, because they were playing music and that'll get my video copyrighted, so I might just have to put my own music over it or something like that. But I'll show you whatever I can. Back at the hammock. I'm going to see if I can sit down in this. I've laid down in it and it was perfectly fine, but I'm going to see if I can sit normally without dragging on the ground. I'm on a slight hill, so if I push back, my butt does kind of touch the ground, but if I sit forward where it goes downhill like this, then I don't touch. So this is okay. It's not perfect, but nothing ever is. I guess I'm just going to hang out here for a little while, relax in the hammock, think about life. Maybe we'll go walking down this trail in a little bit too, because I have no idea where this walking trail goes. I looked on Google Maps and it looks like there's some kind of small body of water close by too, so we'll go check that out in a little bit. After sitting here for a few minutes and then laying down, I think I'm going to have to do something about the hammock, because I'm not touching as long as I'm laying still and at an angle. But if I start moving around, I hit the ground. I think it might have sagged down a little bit from where I initially had it. The trees aren't far enough apart. There's nothing I can do about that. But what I think I'll do is take the hammock straps and try and move them up the tree as high as I possibly can. And that should get me up off the ground. It's really hard to film here too because of the slant. My tripod wants to just keep tipping over. I have a stick underneath of it to try and keep it upright, but normally I can just set my tripod down and I'm good. There we go. All right, now let's get the other side up a little higher. And I think that'll solve our problem. Whoa. I wish you could see how slanted this is. I almost fell over. This is gonna be a little harder. It's such a big tree. And it has all these limbs and stuff around it. There we go. That wasn't too bad, honestly. We're good now. We're probably 10 inches off the ground, so that's good. If the camera shakes, that's because I have my foot on the tripod to keep it up. So tonight, I brought stuff to make a barbecue salad. Basically just some shredded lettuce and some barbecue and ranch. I usually put cheese in there, like shredded cheddar, but I didn't have any at home. But I did have these 2 sticks of regular cheddar, so I figured I will just take a bite of the salad, then I'll take a bite of this cheese. I forgot to put like a cool soda in the refrigerator to get it cold. So I stopped at the store, and because it is October and it is fall, I decided to try this pumpkin spice frappuccino. So I'll drink that instead of my usual soda. Hopefully this is good. I'm gonna try and eat a lot earlier in the night than I normally do. That way the coffee doesn't keep me up all night, but also I've been going to sleep on these camps at like midnight, 1 a.m. So a lot of times I don't sleep that well anyway, so I end up getting like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then the whole next day, I sleep the whole day away. Then I gotta get up and edit video, because this is Wednesday. I edit on Thursday, post on Friday. So I'm gonna try and get to bed a little earlier tonight so I can get some actual decent sleep, so I don't have to go back to sleep when I get home tomorrow. I'm making my way to the walking trail. There wasn't really a good clear path to the trail, so I'm having to just step through all these bushes and thorns. I'm gonna try and not get poked though. Okay. I was just telling someone, maybe it was in a comment or something, someone said something about snakes this year, and it's crazy, but I haven't seen a single snake since I've been camping this summer, which is insane to me. I just saw a snake yesterday though at a spot where I was looking to camp at, and I saw a snake in our backyard a few days ago. So I've seen 2 snakes this summer, but not while I'm camping. Okay, here's the path. And right through the woods here is where we're camping at. I don't think anyone's seeing me through there. Had my camo netting, but I really thought that I was going to be able to camp on the roof, so I didn't bring it, but that didn't work out. I was looking at this place on Google Maps, never been here before, but I thought I saw a ladder on the building in Google Maps, so I thought, okay, maybe I can get up on the roof. What the crap? There's just a leaf dangling in the air. I'm guessing it's hanging off of a spider web. Oh my gosh, there is a huge freaking spider up there. There's just a giant spider up there. And then he's got a leaf just dangling off. So there's a trail leading from here up to the store. We're about 20 feet down from where I'm camping at, up there through the woods, so even if someone does come through here and takes that trail, I don't think they'll see me. Some trash out here. Metal torch lighter. There's like 5 of these boxes, or these packages, for metal torch lighters. That is weird. Why would someone need so many lighters, and why would you open them and just throw the packaging on the ground? I can see some water over here. Oh, what is this? I found some kind of trail. Oh, so there's this fence over here in front of that store that's padlocked. There's no signs on the fence saying not to come in here. But this is taking us back around the back inside that fence. This is a nice area over here. Oh my gosh, I should have freaking got my tent and set it up over here. This is a nice spot. Looks like someone else has already been staying here. Pair of boots, clothes. That's an Auburn jacket. No wonder they threw it away. Pants. Look at these boots though. Honestly, not bad looking boots here. What brand is that? 511. Anybody know what that is or means? Are these boots worth money? Should I take them? If these are size 11, I'm taking these. 10.5s. This might work. Y'all, if I stick my foot in here right now, do y'all think that's gross? I'm about to try these things on. Seriously? I mean, they don't have any boot strings, but ain't no way. Look at these boots. That's crazy. Nah, there's no way I'll try those on. This boot fits me perfectly. I'm taking them. They're a little tight in the toe, but I think that's just because there's no strings in it and my foot is kind of pressing against the front. I think if I had some strings and they were tied up, it'd be good. All right, let's get my boot back on. Ow, something bit me. Heck yeah. Y'all, tell me this isn't the same boot. 511 tactical waterproof boots, $135. Somebody's gonna be mad when they come back and these boots are gone. About to try on these pants until I found this, what looks to be a doo-doo stain on the back of it. Or blood. That's crazy. All right, let me grab my new boots and get out of here. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna stash my boots in here and I'll grab them on my way back from exploring this trail here. This is cool. There's some water over here. You can probably see the reflection of the city lights on the water, but I'm not really seeing any way to get to it. This place is pretty cool. I wish I would have had my scooter with me. That thing would have been a blast to ride around through here. I may come back to this area just to ride these trails. It's one thing I don't like about Alabama compared to when I lived in Minnesota. The little town we lived in had so many bike trails just everywhere. I guess they have them here too. I just haven't looked for them. But in the city I live in, they don't have any kind of trails. There's barely even any sidewalks. This is really neat. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's a cop across the water there. There's no way you're gonna be able to see him. That's okay, I'm allowed to be here walking this trail, I'm sure. As long as no one sees me run off into my camping spot. Just heard something over here. Whatever it was, it just jumped in the water. What is that? Oh, is it a beaver? I honestly thought it was a cat at first until it jumped in the water and swam off. Had to be a beaver, I'm pretty sure. How long can beavers stay under the water before they have to come up for breath? This bench is a lot cleaner than the other one, but they do have garbage cans here too. I feel like if a city puts garbage cans out, it just helps a lot because people are lazy. But if there's a garbage can right nearby, they're more likely to use it than to throw their trash on the ground. But if there's no garbage can, people will just throw their crap anywhere. There's no telling what lives in that log. Lots of little minnows here, tadpoles. So I actually know exactly where I'm at now. I know this place very well. I don't know this exact place, this walkway, but I was just taking my GPS to get here, so I honestly wasn't really paying attention the last 3 or 4 miles, but this is the Coosa River here in Gadsden, Alabama. I was over here thinking I was just somewhere that I'd never been before, but I know exactly where I am. I mean, I've never been on this trail before. So I just looked on the maps, on Google Maps, to see how far this freaking trail goes. And it goes pretty far, but the crazy part is that while I was looking at my maps, I had a spot saved on there, a spot that I wanted to check out to camp at, and this leads right to that spot. That's insane. I had no idea. And you know what another crazy story about that spot is? I had a subscriber, Stinger. He suggested a place, and I was like, you know what? I think I may have already had that marked, and I went and looked, and it was the exact same spot that he was suggesting. That's crazy. I wish I would have brought my scooter. I could have rode over there, checked that spot out for future camps, but it's a pretty good walk, so I'm headed back to camp now. I gotta go back and pick up my new boots though. Dang it, from now on, if I'm driving any distance or to somewhere I haven't been in a while, I'm bringing my scooter so I can explore. I thought I was gonna be on the roof tonight, so I was thinking there was no reason for it, but I might as well just throw it in the car and have it with me just in case I need it, you know. All right, y'all, I'm gonna head back to camp, get my boots, and then we'll cook supper. I'm getting pretty hungry. Y'all, so the more I thought about it, I think I'm just gonna put the boots back. They're a nice pair of boots, and they're my size. It's almost perfect, but I can't help thinking that what if a homeless person did just leave those there and they're coming back and then I steal their only boots, you know? So I'm just gonna put them back. You almost had a new home. You know what? I'm gonna cover them up with this, and if I ever come back this way, I will come and check, and if the boots are still here in the future, I will get them. I'm all sweaty again. I did bring my fan tonight though. One of the best things that I can recommend for camping in the summertime in the South. I've seen these a million times, but I never really went out to get one or used one until a subscriber sent me one. Actually, I got sent 2 of them. But the first time I tried it, I was absolutely in love. Believe me, I don't get any money or anything by promoting this fan. I just think it's really freaking great. There's a train coming by somewhere. Anyways, it's time to cook. I got my little table and stove all set up here. A little pan. Bang! Barbecue meat. This is just barbecue meat from one of those like round tubs you can buy. I believe this has white lightning vinegar sauce on it. This should not take very long at all. All I gotta do is heat this barbecue meat up and we'll be good. And of course, I've got a cherry pie for dessert. I actually wanted to bring a pecan pie tonight, but I couldn't find one. Not a small one. Alrighty, the meat is nice and hot. Oh, that's what our barbecue looks like. Bag of shredded lettuce here. Ow, freaking stick. And I brought a paper plate. I had it folded up to get it into my lunchbox. Look how nice this paper plate is though. I mean, I would never buy a paper plate this nice. Anytime we buy paper plates, it's the cheap, like a, what is it, foam, I guess, you know, that break easily. This is a Chinette or something. My sister-in-law, I can't remember which one is either Sheena or Jen, whichever one of y'all gave us the paper plates, thanks. They gave us this 2 big bags of paper plates for some reason. Anyways, thanks for that. I'm just gonna dump my lettuce in here, mix in the barbecue meat. My plate is a little flimsy now from me folding it up. This will be the first time I use the fork end of my sport. Okay. Got some ranch, not real ranch, but some generic ranch. I don't really like vegetables, so that's why I'm not putting tomatoes or cucumbers. There's our barbecue salad. Since it's officially fall, I bought a pumpkin spice frappuccino to try. Smells like pumpkin. That's good. That's really good. I was about to say I don't really like pumpkin spice stuff, but now that I'm thinking about it, I can't think of anything I eat that is pumpkin spice. So this past week, Tuesday I think, I released a review video for a scooter I had gotten. And some people get upset when I do those review videos, but for a long time I didn't make any money at all doing YouTube, and getting the e-bikes or the scooters was kind of like the only compensation. And my kids, me, my wife, we all love riding e-bikes, and honestly, doing those reviews was the only way that I could ever afford to get 4 of them for all of us. I didn't just accept every single e-bike or scooter that I was offered. I bet you I got 30 to 40 offers, and they still come in for different e-bikes. I tried to only get the ones that I thought had something unique about them, something different that I haven't tried. And I never, like when I review these, I would never, like I'm not trying to sell them to you. I don't care if you buy them, honestly. They've already sent me the bike. If the bikes would have been bad or I hated them or anything like that, I would have told you. But I do a lot of research on that stuff before I ever accept it, just to kind of hopefully make sure I don't get anything that's bad anyway, so I don't have to give them a negative review. But anyways, I just brought that up because some people don't like the reviews, and that's fine, I get it. You don't have to watch them. I would never replace a weekly video, a Friday video, with a review for anything. But having said all that, I do have 2 review videos left that I have to do. One of them is a bike, the other one's not though. And after that, I think I'm done with the review videos. That's not really how I ever wanted my channel to go, you know? I don't want to feel or make y'all feel like I'm just like a sleazy salesman or something. That was never my intention. But anyways, just wanted to talk about that. Bear with me, 2 more review videos, guys. I'm just gonna stop doing it after that. Unless something, I don't want to pigeonhole myself and say I will never ever do another review video, but it's gonna have to be something pretty cool for me to do another one after I finish the 2 that I have already agreed to do. I'm gonna finish eating, and then I'll eat dessert, and then we'll read some comments from last week's video. I have finished eating. Now time to enjoy this cherry pie. Somebody just went walking down the trail. I'm gonna wait a few minutes before I eat the pie because I don't know if they kept going or if they're gonna come up that little walkway that I did that comes up to the store. It could be the person who left those boots too. I'll check back in a few minutes. Somebody just went walking past the fence into the parking lot. That's crazy. What are the chances of someone walking from back there at the trail and then also from up here? I don't know if it's the same person. It couldn't be, because I literally just saw the person walk by on the trail over here, and then 30 seconds later the person came by from the fence. I'm going to sit very quietly for a little while.
That's how that's the way he was like
They are like 10 feet away at the fence. I gotta eat this pie really fast before anyone else comes back. Alright, now let's go sit down for a little while. So I've been laying around here for about an hour. No one else has came by. So I'm feeling pretty safe to go ahead and read comments from last week's video. That was weird, like 4 people came by in the span of 10 minutes. It's been pretty quiet here for the last hour, so I'm gonna read some comments from last week's video. And just to remind everyone, I used to go through the comments and literally I would just pick comments out and I would read them. But now I use this thing called Comment Shark, and I just press a button and it randomly picks the comments, because I get people all the time asking me to read something for them, and I really wish I could, but if I go back to doing that, the whole comment section will just be full of people asking me to read them. So, and it's kind of unfair, I feel like. So this way it just randomly picks them and I have no control over it. So all right, first comment, Travis Sigmund -H3P, you should do a hospital stealth camp. That would be cool. I came this close to doing one a few weeks ago. So a few weeks ago, my dad was in the hospital. He had pneumonia, and I was going up there a few days in a row to see him, and I found a spot at a hospital, not inside the hospital, but a really good spot, and I was gonna go up there and do a camp so that I could kind of go in the hospital and see him and then come back out to my camping spot, you know? I thought that'd be really cool, but then he got out of the hospital, which is a good thing. He had pneumonia, he's much, much better now. But I was this close to doing one, and I'm still gonna do one at a hospital at the spot that I've already got picked out. All right, next comment. Josh-D9U8H. Man, you always forget to bring something. Slow down and do a checklist, my brother. 100% correct. I get this comment, some version of this comment, 100 times on every single video. And you're right, I do need to do a checklist, and I do sometimes. There was a few weeks back, I think I went like, I want to say 3 to 4 camps without forgetting anything, and I did do a checklist like 2 of those camps. The real problem is I've said this before, I wait until the last minute, a few hours before I need to go, before I pack stuff up. I'm in a rush and I forget stuff. Y'all are right, I do need to make a list, and I will. Maybe. Next comment is from Sandy Brand 3420. We love your stinky feet pizzazz champion and fastest pie eater there is. My feet were horrible last week because they were soaking wet and I'd been in those boots all day. Tonight's not much better because my pillow stinks. And I don't think I got my pillow wet last week, but you know what I did do? I put that tarp up, put it in my bag, and then I haven't opened my bag since last camp until today, and I never dried that tarp out. So it's been, and it sat in my car for about 5 days. So it was out in my hot car with that wet tarp in there, and I think my pillow like absorbed the moisture and the stink somehow. But yeah, my feet were bad last week. That's the only time that I've been camping where my feet stink. Usually my feet never stink, but they were just wet all day that day. All right, next comment from James Barnes 5099. Still haven't made that checklist, I see. Nope. I'll make one next camp. I'm making a mental note right now to make a checklist, and hopefully I won't forget anything. Michael Coquette 69.99. You can make another tie-off spot in the middle with a rock. Just put the rock under the tarp and tie a rope around the tarp covered rock. A lot of people gave me this tip too, and I honestly never thought of it before or heard it. Basically last week in my tarp I was saying I wish I had another tie-off point in the top middle so I could pull it up, because I didn't have it. You know, I could have tied a ridgeline, you know, rope from one tree to another, threw the tarp over it, had a ridgeline, and it would have a point for the water to run off, but I didn't have enough rope with me to do that, so I just tied all 4 corners to 4 different spots because I already had rope on those corners. And I was saying that I wish I had another tie-off in the very top, and people basically said you could take a rock and you put it up in the middle of your tarp, and then you grab it from the top so the rock is inside there covered with a tarp, and then you could tie that up to another point, which would give you, you know, a nice point in the middle and let your rainwater run off. That's a really freaking good tip, and if I ever find myself with that tarp again, I will definitely do that. Johnson R81. It should be the new drinking game that every time Todd says ow, we take a shot. We'd all be suffering from alcohol poisoning after this. I got this comment a few times too. Please don't do that. As I've said, I don't want to be held responsible for anyone having to go and get their stomachs pumped, especially last week's video. That one was so bad. Like, it felt like just every time I turned around, I was getting poked by something. I've gotten poked a few times tonight, but I can't remember if I was recording or not, so maybe this one would be a safe one to play that game. All right, I'll read one more comment. I don't want to push my luck here, so I'll read one more and I'm gonna lay down. All right, final comment from Joe100. My brothers and sisters, wearing a helmet is very, very, very important when you ride any bike, for real. Completely true. So last week I told a story about how probably 10 days ago now, I wrecked my bike, put a little dent in my head. It's healing up nicely though. Where is it? Up there? I don't know if you can see it. It's almost gone now. And then my side was all bruised up really bad, but I wasn't wearing a helmet. If I would have been wearing a helmet, I would have hit my helmet and I wouldn't have gotten hurt. And if you watched my scooter review video, in that video, I almost crashed again. I actually fell off the scooter, but was able to stay upright, but I was wearing a helmet. But yeah, you know what it is, I think? So when I was a kid, I never wore a helmet. Never wore a helmet. I would leave on my bike and go anywhere. I mean, I could be traveling across the whole city some days. Never once put a helmet on. And so now as an adult, I don't think about it. I can jump on a bike and it never even crosses my mind. It does now since I had that wreck. Anyways, so yeah, wear your freaking helmets, you know? Yeah, you may look goofy, but I mean, it's better to look goofy than to have brain damage. So wear your helmets. Especially these e-bikes. I have bikes that go 40 miles per hour. I should not be riding those without a helmet. All right, y'all. I am gonna lay down and try and get to sleep. If anything happens, I'll let you know, but if not, I will see y'all in the morning. Good night, everybody. It is about 6:30 and I am actually pretty cold. I just checked the weather. It's about 59 degrees and there's some wind blowing through, and it's pretty cold underneath me. I could have used an underquilt last night, but I honestly didn't think I'd need one because it was so hot yesterday, but kind of chilly now. I need to get up and start packing my stuff up so I can get out of here, because I don't want to be here when people start showing up to work at this store right next door to me. So it shouldn't take long though. Here's our spot. I know I didn't get to show you in the daylight last night. Whew, that wind is pretty freaking cold. I am all packed up and ready to get out of here. Take one final look at our site before I leave. There we go. Got everything all cleaned up. Now we just got to make our escape. Perfect. I don't think there's any cars here yet, so nice. I think we're getting out of here at the perfect time. Not a single car in the side parking lot yet, so we are great. That orange cat is still here from yesterday. Whole bunch of ducks. Car is still here. That's always a good sign. All right, y'all. Looks like we got away with another one. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos. If you like stealth camping, I have a whole playlist just like this one. Go check some of those videos out, and I'll see y'all next Friday for another stealth camp. Bye, everybody.